Hey guys, SoCal Val here. You are listening to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. This is our Smackdown review. I'm your host, Andy Burrows, and as you can see, I'm joined by my illustrious co-host and tag team partner, Mr. Adam Cousins. Adam, good evening to you, sir. How are you, my friend?
Good evening, my man. You've changed your background in line with what we're doing.
Yes, occasionally, very occasionally, this little thing up here rattles around.
Got your glasses?
Well, these just, mate, they don't really do. Oh, there is glass in them. Smackdown review. I'll try and keep up. Smackdown this week, my friends. Roman Reigns celebrating 1,000 days as champion.
1,004 or 6.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, we split. Did you ever think you would see anything like this? We say this all the time, me and you. You and I have watched wrestling pretty much the same time. Started in the 80s, grew up in the Attitude Era. Did you ever think that you would see a 1,000-day title reign in your lifetime, especially the way the wrestling world works? You know, back in the day, God, you could win it on a Sunday and lose it on a Monday night.
Yeah.
That's how it went. I think Austin lost at King of the Ring and then won it back the next night on Raw against Kane.
Something like
that. But yeah, it used to chop change all the time. Did you ever think that in your lifetime you would see such a long title reign as Roman Reigns? And also, how long do you think he'll go?
The first answer to your question is no, I never thought. I mean, CM Punk had a close one at 436 or something around that figure. To get up to 1,000, I mean, jeez. No, I didn't expect him to. I didn't expect it to. I thought he was going to go at Mania anyway. But as it edged closer, I did. But if you'd asked me, even last year, Roman's going to hold the title for this amount of time, I'd be like, no, it wouldn't happen. When does he lose it? Next Mania, probably 40. I would assume. I think that's what.
I think you mentioned to me not so long ago that there was talk of WWE wanting him to break Bruno Sammartino's record, which means
like another 5 Manias.
Another 5 Manias. Could you imagine?
Well, it wouldn't surprise me now. Now he's done 1,000, but I think it's a safe bet for him because I think they want him to definitely do Hogan's, and they definitely want Gunther to do Honky Tonk Man's. So Gunther would hold on a title till September, the Intercontinental, to go overtake Honky Tonk. So I think that's what they're doing with Gunther. With Roman, probably Mania 40. I would assume. But again, it's prestige title reigns, isn't it now? Like, they're not a joke, these ones.
No.
When they change, it'll be like, the only problem is when they change, are we going to get a succession of changes?
Obviously Roman's had it. Yeah, he's had it for so long. I mean, once he loses it, and I think it's going to be vitally important of who he loses. I mean, everyone assumed it was going to be Cody originally, but now I think it still is. But the way they're positioning the Usos and Solo, it kind of puts that. And this is what I love about this kind of storytelling and this part of wrestling. I love this because even though you and I have watched it our entire lives, we're sitting here as fans going, "Oh, I don't actually know where they're going with this." You know, the SmackDown this week was a perfect example with Solo. I was like, he's leaving the blood, and then bam, he's not leaving the blood, which we're going to get into and break down. But I just think that they see the Bruno Sammartino record, but they want to set these modern day records. You know, Bruno's a great record, and everyone that knows their wrestling history knows what he's done for the business. Hulk Hogan, Honky Tonk Man, you mentioned there with the IC title. I think the way they're going now is, personally, I don't know what you think. I think they want to create this kind of modern records and new, because if you look at all the records that we look back on, they are Hulk Hogan, Bruno Sammartino, the Honky Tonk Man, CM Punk, like you mentioned. That's probably the most modernist record before Roman. But if you we mentioned, me and you when we recorded our top 10 on a Friday, we mentioned that there were fans that might not have even heard of half our top 10. So do you think that WWE have to be very careful? They're very mindful now of creating, and I don't mean forgetting history. Do you think they're mindful now of creating new history?
I certainly think they want to do it for some cases. I certainly think people like they want to get rid of that Punk reign. You know, I mean, it was shown yesterday. They showed it yesterday as part of the Roman 1,000 days, but I'm pretty sure they're going to want to remove that from the not say remove it from the memory, but you know, we know that there's still potentially issues there with Punk. So the fact that he's got the longest modern day world championship, and we had it up until Roman started this one. So it may, I think modern day ones, they're going to want to start looking at creating these things. Maybe Rhea Ripley could be in line for another long reign as a SmackDown with Raw. Fucking hell, what is she? Raw Women's
She's
champion.
Raw, and
she's the SmackDown Women's Champion on Raw.
On Raw, that's it. Yeah,
okay. And I think they're getting new belts soon as well. So that could be why they're holding off of swapping them. I think they're getting new ones.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it there. Let's before we break down SmackDown show, new title, mate. I don't think I've ever seen a title get as bashed on social media as I did this one. I don't get wrong. A few nice comments. It just looked very lazy to me. It's just a different color with W in the middle.
Yeah.
Obviously, this week on SmackDown, Triple H presented a new title. So I'm guessing Mr. Heyman isn't going to be able to carry his 2 belts. Roman isn't going to be able to swing, unless he's having all 3 of them. I don't know. He might do. Who knows? We'll find out next week on SmackDown. But what did you make of the new title? Again, we say this all the time. We've grown up with the wing belt, the spinner belt, the rated R belt, which I know is your mecca of belts. The Stone Cold Smoking Skull is my favorite of all time. What did you make of what they put around Roman Reigns' waist on Friday evening?
Fucking hideous, to be quite honest with you. Bring back the fucking Wind Eagle, or bring back the old WCW belt that they had on SmackDown.
They keep saying all these belts are like a throwback and a homage to all these old titles. And I'm with you. I'm like, what?
The funny one is, I think the Seth Rollins one has got the McMahon sort of heritage badge on it. I was like, oh, great, so he's going to be a fucking sexual sadist going forward. You know?
Got like the McMahon family crest or something in it on the strap, and you're like, okay, I don't know if you want to put that on there right now.
McMahon family crest is Vince in a strap on or something like that. You know?
Oh, this is the late night version of the SmackDown review. But I'm with you, Matt. I just thought it was lazy. I'm like, well,
it was shocking.
It's just laziness. I can kind of get why they've done it, but I liked Roman having the one and raising it when he come out. I kind of liked all that, but let's get into it. SmackDown kicked off, like, obviously it was all built around the bloodline and Roman having 1,000 days. But what did you like from SmackDown this week? What did you not like? Austin Theory kicked it off. The Brawling Brutes, the Pretty Deadly, what they call?
Yes, boy, Pretty Deadly.
Yeah, pretty. I don't know.
Boy.
They remind me of the Beverly Brothers. Do you remember them?
Yeah.
For all the young listeners, go and Google WWF Beverly Brothers. They remind me of the Beverly Brothers. That kicked off Raw. The OC were on it. AJ Styles was on it. We had some announcements that there's going to be a title match on Raw. What did you like about SmackDown this week, Ads?
The triple threat, the 6-man tag at the start was
Austin Theory. Yep.
I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. It was long match.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Pretty Deadly looked strong. The Brawling Brutes were wearing some shirts at the start.
Did Sheamus have a football shirt on?
Yeah, so I tell you, I've got this. I'll tell you a little bit about it because I've actually ordered, not that one. I've ordered a Bullet Club football jersey off of they're called BLCK.
I was going to say, don't do it off Euroshop, mate. I cancel
my
order with
no.
it.
I ordered. The people that have done it are called on Twitter. They're called at BLCK SMTH apparel, whatever you want to call it.
We'll tweet the link. We'll tweet the
link. They done the Brawling Brutes one. They've also got a United Empire football jersey, which I'm buying. And they've also done, you probably can't see it on here. Maybe, no. Yeah, see that? The Bullet Club. Yeah, I'm getting that one.
I thought it was a Newcastle shirt.
Yeah. And then you got United Empire.
Okay.
Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
I'm getting that one. And they done the Brawling Brutes one, which they tweeted out. I thought it was that. But anyway, long story short, loved that match. Thought the match was great. Pretty Deadly getting over was obvious. Butch is starting to turn, I think, back into Pete Dunne soon. So he's going to come away from the Brutes So that'll be interesting to see how they do that. Love that. Couldn't care less about the OC, to be honest.
Are you surprised about the because when they originally, I mean, in Impact, they were really, I mean, they went from WWE to Impact, went to Japan for a little bit, and then come back to WWE. And obviously, you've got Switchblade in AEW, Jay White. Obviously, Bullet Club. A lot of wrestling fans ask me this question, and they were like, Andy, what really is the Bullet Club? And it's so hard to, because obviously you've got the OC and AJ, and then you've got
Finn was a part of it.
Finn, and you're like, and everyone's like, well, why don't they ever be I said there can never be a faction because some are in New Japan, some are in AEW, some of the OC were the original members, if I'm right.
Adam Cole, I think.
Adam Cole, I mean, you know, the Bullet. You hear this Bullet Club all the time, but it's turning into the NWO. There's so bloody many of them all over.
So many flavors. I think Bullet Club Gold is in AEW.
That's it. That's how they announce it, right? When I watched Dynamite this week. But yeah, no. Do you think WWE are learning a little bit from AEW? By the way, I know obviously you and Dave review it on a weekly. They don't seem to start off SmackDown as much with promos anymore. They're straight into the matches, which is what I like about Dynamite. They don't usually. They usually kick off with if you notice,
it's always Orange Cassidy.
It's not always, it's not, but it's always like a high flyer or up tempo match. You messaged me on this week saying start of Dynamite was good, and I was like, I'm literally just about to start watching it, and it was incredible.
It was
WWE seems to be doing the same thing now.
Yeah, I mean the start of Dynamite. I know we're on the SmackDown show, but the start of Dynamite was the Blackpool Combat Club against the Penta, Ray Phoenix, and Bandido.
I love that Penta, fucking brilliant.
I hope they bring him over for All In. Anyway. Yes, your point is valid and correct. They're starting it with a match, and I think I know that even the Attitude Era used to start with a promo, but it used to be better than what you would get at the minute, But because a lot of we know this is all scripted, and in the Attitude Era they had bullet points, and you just had to make sure you hit.
Yeah, they just told The Rock and Austin and Taker, just go and do what you got to do. Yeah.
How you get to those bullet points, it's up to you, but just get to those bullet points.
Yeah.
Now they've got this whole Hollywood like 4-page script that they have to memorize apart. So I agree that the fact that they're starting with matches makes a lot more sense. I think it makes the crowd hot as well. I know they have a match before, you have a dark match before that's meant to look the crowd up. But I would like to go on.
Wasn't Cody the dark match this week on SmackDown?
Well, that was the end. That was at the end.
After
versus Miz. But sometimes they tape a main event, or they still do a dark match just because it gets, or I suppose a pre-show match just to get the crowd warm it up. But they could just warm it up by having a match at the start, because that match on SmackDown, the start was warm. It was great. The OC and Job Row, I'm going to call them now, because that's all they ever do. What's that mask about? What's he doing? Robbing a shop and then coming to WWE to do a quick match? Like, I didn't get it at all. And I like Hit Row. I used to like Hit Row. I like the OC. Like, even Mia Yim's grown on me even since she's gone in. I like Mia Yim, but it's just like, if you're gonna, I know the OC picked up a win and it wasn't very long, but it's like, these guys are a great team. Carl Anson, Gallows have always been a great team, but I just don't care for them on WWE. I don't know if it's how they're presented, or I cared about Impact.
Would they benefit doing what Mustafa Ali and Baron Corbin did last week? I don't know how they'd do it. Put them in NXT.
Well, they were free agents, didn't they?
Oh yeah, this is WWE. But do you think the OC? Look at the draft doesn't fucking matter. Really doesn't. It was just the ratings. I think Vince Russo tweeted out, he was like, if you don't think that was just a ratings thing, and I'd be interested. I might have to Google what the ratings were for the draft night.
SmackDown's ratings this week blew it out of the water.
Yeah, but would the OC benefit from? They don't really seem to do much. They don't have great matches anymore.
The problem with the OC is WWE still don't care about their tag team. They care about it with a couple of people. Like, there's a few teams, but like
the tag teams, Usos or nothing. I think.
Yeah, it's like Usos.
Sammy and KO.
I mean the ones they take seriously anyway. Like they don't take Alpha Academy seriously, but they could be a great team if you put it. I mean, I know it's a comedy and everyone loves it. The Shoosh, I loved it as well. Otis, God knows what he's doing the worm, or Christ knows. But they're great guys. They can work, they can go, but they're also now doing a lot more trios. And one of these days, we're gonna watch Raw. And they're gonna have a trios title or something, 6-man championship.
God, could you imagine the AEW fans and the WWE fans if they were Jesus? You better turn off your Twitter. But explain something to me as well, right? Smackdown here, and I know I always like to quote my notes here. Obviously, I have my phone out. Well, obviously, we do a podcast, so we make notes, and we're like, must mention that to Adam. I must say this. So down here in my notes, that the Grayson Waller talk show.
The Grayson Waller effect.
Yep, that's it. Oscar was on it, and it was in my notes here, brackets. What the fuck is this? I didn't get it. It was, for me, SmackDown was really good. For me, that part, obviously, I know he was in NXT and he's come up, and Oscar, and then Bailey come out, and then Lacey Evans come out, and Bianca come out and attacked Oscar. And I was just like, what is going? And you can see, did you notice when they panned to the crowd, they were just like,
I called this the absolute clusterfuck show because it just felt like it was. I know what. Yeah. It kind of was built around to get the Money in the Bank competitors out to start their match, but it was just a ridiculous way of doing it. Like, it made no sense. Why was Io Sky? She's a heel. Why was she coming out and confronting Oscar, who's a heel? Why was Oscar tagging fans? She's a heel. Why did Bailey then come out? She's a heel. It's just like, what?
And if you want to get the women over, give them like a talk show segment. It's always the men.
Ding dong hello. Bailey's got one.
Miz, well, yeah, get Bailey out there. The one I saw on NXT a couple of weeks ago when the girl got pooped through the door.
Gigi Dolan, that was Ding Dong Hello.
Yeah, that was a great segment. I'm like, well,
Bailey one. She was on NXT.
Yeah, put that on SmackDown. Don't give this crazy Australian guy. Fucking, he's up there with Matt Riddle for me, mate. Fucking get him out. I don't know who the fuck he is, but I didn't like it, mate. I'm just saying. Lacey and Selena had a Money in the Bank qualifying match, which Selena won. Wasn't surprised by that. Lacey Evans has had more makeovers than Gok won. I don't know what's going. There you go. That could be the clip for Munzie or you.
The one I used to.
Yeah, only's your one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lacey Evans, mate. What's going on with this whole Sergeant Slaughter deal?
Do you know what?
Why don't they put him in? Thank you.
Bring him in.
Great minds. Because she was talking about the clutch.
She's doing everything because it's Sergeant Slaughter. So bring him in.
She's got the look. She's got everything. I mean,
they reinvented her. Sergeant Lacey Evans this week.
Dude, she's been...
Next week it's Special Constable Evans and she'll come out in a police outfit.
Mate, she's been reinvented more times than Katie Price's bra. I don't know what is going on with her. This is a Saturday night. We can do this, surely. But I don't know what's going on with Lacey Evans. What are WWE trying to achieve here? She's an American hero. It's like, she the female 80s Hulk Hogan.
She was in the army, wasn't she? That was the whole. And she was.
She's going to come out soon with a flag, and you're like, come on, man.
She'll come out on the Lex Express soon.
Do you remember
Lex Express?
That travelled around the 1994 SummerSlam.
There you go. For you younger viewers, have a look at that one.
Younger viewers out there.
Lacey, I don't know with Lacey. But the problem is she doesn't help herself on socials either. She's one of them ones.
Oh, very.
I think she calls the stir about something. I can't remember what it was.
Well, it's some wasn't it over the abortion thing in America? I know she kicked off. Yeah, she should. I know WWE, they're not too keen on when they do that.
Yeah, so that probably doesn't help. I don't know with her. It's really weird because there is something about her, but it's like
yeah, there is.
Well, there is something about her in the. Well, it's not even worth in the ring. We are going to get kicked off in this time.
Oh, we're getting booted.
Something about her, but I just don't know what it is.
I know what you mean, but yeah, WWE have tried so much, and I just when she originally come into WWE, I was like, yeah.
She was in NXT. She played the sort of. How can I put it? It was it wasn't nothing to do with the army in NXT.
No.
She was like this. I suppose she had the woman's right. I think she was all about that, and she had this. She used to be the Southern girl and all of that sort of jazz, and it was cool. And then they ballsed it up. Well, there you go. That's kind of WWE.
Shock. You leave NXT and you get called up to the main roster.
Well, it should be different now. Someone isn't massively in charge anyway. Let's
just hope so. One thing that I was happy about, but not happy about here, LA Knight won, and I get it. He's over.
Yeah.
But we're not going to see Montez Ford in the Money in the Bank. We're not going to see him flying off the top of a ladder. He'd be the perfect. LA Knight's great. So glad he's in the Money in the Bank. I just wish he hadn't gone up against Montez Ford, because I'm now worried that he's just going to drop back down and he's the tag team division. And again, like you said a minute ago, I don't know what they're kind of going to do with him now. Could they can maybe, this is wrestling, they can still segue him into
last chance Road Battle Royal, probably on our Smackdown maybe when they come over the day before. I don't know, or they might do it the week before actually, because normally it's all set before they come over, but they might do that. Simply he was getting booed throughout the whole of that match.
LA Knight is
LA Knight's over, but that also helps because the profits are meant to be turning with Bianca soon, so that makes sense in that sense, because he's getting the reaction. I mean, even LA Knight kind of had a little grin on his face when it was, because then Montez was kind of like, okay, this is how we're going to. But if it's in the works anyway, then it made perfect sense. Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Montez Ford in it because, he's nuts, just like Ricochet. You're going to get some sort of massively big spot from them in there. So hopefully they'll do a last chance thing and he'll get an opportunity, or Bronson Reed, because he lost his match on Raw.
True. SmackDown then moves to, there wasn't too much matches on SmackDown. There was a few qualifiers here and there, but the main thing that was always going to get a lot of time was Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Let's really get into the end of SmackDown. One of the best endings to a televised show, not a pay-per-view, that I've seen in a long, long time. Obviously, Triple H comes out, we know that, but it kind of gives out the new title. Roman Reigns is about to tell the whole world to acknowledge him. And then the Usos music hits, obviously not meant to be there, yada, yada, yada. I thought it was great the way that they've kind of got us guessing again. This story every week seems to get me going, I still don't know. I still don't know. 1 minute I'm thinking Solo's now with his brothers, and then he turns on the Usos again. But then we're not stupid as wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Long-term hardcore wrestling fans know that eventually it's going to be the Usos and Solo. Most probably Solo's not going to be with Roman forever. He eventually, whether it's at Money in the Bank, I think it's going to be SummerSlam, because that's obviously Money in the Bank's it's a big show.
Yeah.
Like I've said many times, though, SummerSlam is number 2 to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's huge. It is up there with Mania. They do the same. It's a week out event. There's everything that Mania is. It's just in the summer for me. It's just as a big event. What did you make of the last segment on SmackDown? The Usos, everything that went down. The promo that they cut. Roman was fantastic. I generally don't want this storyline to end.
I know WWE do.
Yeah, so I think they're just creatively thinking. I mean, we say it all the time. I mean, there probably hasn't been a better long-term storytelling than, for me, and I thought about this today actually when I was writing my notes. The last long-term story that just ran and ran and ran, kind of dipped in and out of places, was Austin v. McMahon.
Yeah, or there's outside ones like Cena and Edge, because that cut off and started back up. It didn't go as long, but I mean, we're talking. It stopped for a while and then started. So John Cena Edge was one of them. I mean, there's another one like Cena and Orton was another one, but it didn't have that. What we're talking about here is constant, no stopping, no breaks, constantly changing, making you rethink things. Is this going to happen? Is that going to happen? When's he dropping a title? Is he dropping a title? What's going on, kind of thing. So yeah, you're right. Austin McMahon was the longest long term, and even they stopped for a while. And then kicked off again. And to be honest, that's still going on. He got stunned a couple of Manias ago, and I suppose
we'd never see in history.
Yeah. I mean, Shane McMahon will probably blow both cords if he has to take that in ever again. He couldn't do a drop kick the other time. But
poor old Shane.
Yeah, good old Shane. Anyway, I hope he's getting better. But Jesus, the ending of that was just absolutely brilliant. I said this to Dave because we were talking again. I know we're segueing into AEW a bit here. But on the pod on Wednesday, I said to Dave that if AEW had moved some segments around in the show, I said the ending of the show will make you want to watch next week. And the ending of AEW was Adam Cole and Britt Baker. But there was a point right at the start, I think it was like segment 3, where they went and talked to the Young Bucks and Paige, and they talked about Kenny Omega. The first thing they could have said on that was they hadn't heard from him. And then they could have come out and said, we'll get an update later for you. And they could have come out at the end. They could have moved the Callis bit out to the end where he was getting wet heat, and they could have gone on the Tron, and they could have, Hangman could have stood there and went, Kenny Omega's injured, he's out of the country, but he's not in Canada. Because you're smart enough to know where he is. The crowd at AEW know all about that. They know Forbidden Door's coming up. It would have got me interested. I mean, the matches for next week I'm already interested in, but the whole point of the ending of the show, the ending of SmackDown, I was kind of like, I didn't want it to end.
I think Roman's scheduled again next week anyway. I know he's got 1 week and then he's scheduled for like the next 4 or 5, even after London. He's scheduled.
Not next week, it's the
next week after, and then he's scheduled for the rest of the month. He's obviously scheduled for London SmackDown. He's scheduled for after London.
He's scheduled for every other week after Money in the Bank up until SummerSlam.
Yeah. So, and a good point here as well is everyone's just assuming that Roman's he's going to take his break soon. He's going to do it. He's never once said, and back in the day when The Rock done it and all that lot, Roman's never said he wants to go and do movies. He wants to go and do TV shows. He generally just might want a break from wrestling. And I know, don't get me wrong, he's very part-time at the minute, but, he's kind of earned that right. And WWE, they've been brilliant the way they positioned it. It's like, we look forward to seeing him when he is advertised on SmackDown. Like when we knew this week's coming, it's 1,000 days. We all knew it was going to be a belter of an ending. Yeah. I mean, I'm glad they didn't start off with an Usos promo, which they sometimes have in recent weeks.
I thought that.
I was quite pleased with that. I was like, oh, yes, this is going to be a good ending. All the whole way through the show, I was like, as soon as I got to the end bit, I was like, this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, it was a great ending. I mean, what they were very clever was as well, they got the audience reaction to Solo turning.
Yeah.
The WWE very clever when they did. And AEW could learn a lot from it. A lot of wrestling federations could learn a lot from this. Test the waters, why it's live.
Yeah, well, WWE.
Remember Cena when he done that? He was doing a promo and he went, "What about a heel turn?"
He done a little twirl.
The fucking crowd went mental.
Yeah.
WWE on Friday night when Solo went, I'm with you, but these are my brothers. And when he just walked across, the crowd pop. And WWE make a mental note of that, going right when we eventually do this. I said, do. When he such a kid. When it does happen, WWE will remember that and be like, we tried it on Smack. The crowd reaction was good. Imagine doing that. I don't know where is SummerSlam this year.
Detroit.
Could you imagine if that happens? You think of two things. Think of the pop that Sammy got at the Rumble. Think of the pop that the Usos got in Saudi. Think of the pop that Solo's going to get potentially at SummerSlam. WWE are very clever the way they're doing this.
For a lot of what WWE do wrong, this is the whole point that I was saying before. We've spoken about this before. They haven't got 20 writers over this. It is Heyman, Roman, P.S. Hayes, Triple H, and I think Adam Pearce. Mm-hmm. Where's the fucking? Why do you need someone that's written 21 seasons of Law and Order? Mm. You don't. You just need people that are in the game. Okay, you might need the odd one to help out with, climax and stuff like that, the climax endings and bits and pieces like that. Wrestling stuff, you don't need Hollywood writers. So what AEW are doing in Collision is going to be like Bryan Danielson, Tony Khan, Punk, Ace Steel, but from a wrestling perspective, I mean, I'm a bit skeptical about how the writing's going to go, but that's great. But what they've done here is they've just given 4 or 5 people and let them go. I mean, Roman and Paul Heyman do most of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's and this is the type of thing. And testing the waters. What I was going to get my point is they do a lot of things wrong, but they do things right. And when they do it right, they do it better than anybody else. And what they've done with Solo was exactly what you said. They tested the reaction of the crowd because what they want to see is it going to work? And the only way to test if it's working is if it's live. Because it started the other week. If you remember when Roman pushed into Solo accidentally,
and he was all like, "Oh, yeah."
The crowd were like, "Oh, yeah," and they was already in. They was in it then. When he moved over to the Usos, and the crowd was good actually this week, I must say.
It makes a bloody change for United. Good crowd in America recently. I don't know what the boys have been doing over there, but this crowd was hot.
But when he moved over, that pop. And then that WWE now know, okay, if we're going to do it, we know we can do it, and we know the reaction it's going to get. So we're if they was wondering to segue through that or worry or thinking about moving Solo, and they're thinking, is he gonna work? Your answer's just been given.
Yeah, and a lot of people now are putting 2 and 2 together, and quite rightly getting 4 for once. Money in the Bank. Do you think it is the Usos versus Roman and Solo?
Yes.
Yeah,
Potentially
could Solo turn then, or do they
No,
save it a bit longer?
I'm thinking. This is what I'm. And I'm going a bit the other way. I'm thinking at this point they may turn Jay back with Roman and Solo.
Because the end of SmackDown, they were like, "What about Jay?" And
Jay
Roman was like, "He will
they'll
fall in
do
line."
one of those things they've been doing quite a bit, like with the Sammy thing, when he had the chair and he was, Roman. Maybe they'll have Jay handcuffed or something, and they'll have Jimmy handcuffed. They'll tell Jay to do something like he looks like he's going to align with them. Boom, super kick. Or
I think Roman's got to get the over at Money in the Bank.
He needs
push forward for the next. So that'll finish in June. That's June, July. So then you will have 6 weeks or so till middle of August, SummerSlam.
Middle, I think. Yeah, I think it's about 6 weeks.
So you'll have 6 weeks from the end of Money in the Bank till SummerSlam. It's going to be, again, it's like what me and you said in January. It's going to be that mania.
Filler for a bit.
Is there anything that's filling in between? Is there a pay-per-view before SummerSlam? So it could be. Here we go. We do this every show. Shall I sing again or something? I don't know. But yeah, there could be. There's going to be 6 weeks potentially again where they have to fill in and move on these storylines. But I think Roman is going to get the over at.
No, I was wrong, mate. Sorry. So Money in the Bank is July 1st. SummerSlam is early. It's the 5th of August.
Oh, so they've only got a month to build it.
Yeah, and then they don't have another pay-per-view that
Mexico's after that.
They've not announced it properly yet. Sorry.
Yeah, it's on their website. They fucked up there because it's on the website.
Oh, it's on the web. I'm not looking on the website.
At the minute, though, it's only called Mexico Super Show.
Yeah, well, look, September was another one, but they're going to go to India. So that'll be a premium live event for sure. They've got another Saudi trip in November. They've got 2 in November. They've got a Saudi trip to Survivor Series. Yeah, Crown Jewel and Survivor Series in November.
And then you're on the road again.
And then we're there for the Rumble.
Yeah, then it's Rumble, and then you're on the road. So this is how quick, this turnaround is amazing. But yeah, I think something, obviously it's Money in the Bank, it's London, something major is going to happen.
They'll do something there. I mean,
I think Roman will get an over, and it will be, the go home will be Roman, but there'll be some sort of seed of doubt in everyone's going, that'll be the one where me and you are going, I can't fucking wait for SummerSlam.
Or does his next opponent challenge him after that match? Like, it's not none of them, it's somebody else.
Because we're all assuming that the Money in the Bank winner is going to challenge Seth. Might not.
I think if they're gonna change that, I mean, I don't think Seth, that won't be a long reign, will it? What, 3 months?
Does Solo win Money in the Bank somehow? Does he get into it?
I think
imagine that. Does one of the Usos win Money in the Bank, and that puts a whole spanner in the works?
They might do another Jimmy Uso Roman Reigns. They've done Jey Uso Roman Reigns, didn't they? A lot. They might do a Jimmy Uso Roman Reigns at SummerSlam for the title, perhaps. Maybe that'll do. I mean, I'll be happy with that. Well, I don't know, mate. This changes every week for me. Like, everything happened, and that's the beauty of it. That's what.
Yeah,
that's
a lot of times you can't. Yeah. This is what Wrestling 101 should be about, where we're sitting here and we're like, I don't know. Not like some over recent years, you're like, yeah, this is going to happen. Now, this Bloodline storyline, and this is full credit to, they don't get enough credit. Like you said a minute ago, the writers of this storyline need all the credit. Don't get me wrong. When you've got people like that, and you made a great point, what you want doing this kind of thing is wrestling-minded people. You don't you don't want Law and Order. You don't want, I've wrote all this soap operas, or you want wrestling minded people going, right, let's not think of now, let's think of SummerSlam, Mexico, Survivor Series. Let's get this going. And I can guarantee you Triple H probably knows when Roman's losing this title. I think he do. In the back of his mind.
We've still got the potential possibility of The Rock coming back. Now, if the Cody's got him at WrestleMania 40, does The Rock have his match at the Rumble? We're with her.
I will lose my shit.
They'll have to build it up beforehand, obviously, but It'd be even better if you had an open challenge, wouldn't it?
Oh, if that music hits,
know,
you'll have to get the defib out, mate. I need it.
Yeah.
Get the defib out.
Defib
But yeah,
out.
mate. Honestly, every next week's going to be good. I know Roman's obviously not advertised. I don't think for SmackDown.
Not next week.
Yeah, and I think it's good how they are just keeping this now to SmackDown. They're not segueing backwards and forwards from Raw and SmackDown because, like we mentioned earlier, the draft's becoming a bit of a mockery now.
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, I don't know where they're gonna go with this next week. I'm guessing it's going to be something to the Usos, and Solo is going to be on it. Paul Heyman will pretend to be on the phone to Roman. I like that one on Friday night. Paul Roman Reigns, Syria. Yeah. Paul Roman Reigns. Cracks me up, but mate, I don't know. It was it was a fair play to WWE this week. I mean, me and Parker used to mention who won the wrestling war this week. If the main event of Dynamite kind of let it down, especially when Soraya was like
two matches.
He was like that for about 5 minutes, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
There was two matches. There was the one before the main event as well. Let down.
Yeah, but again, it was a solid show. But for me, WWE really now. Me and you have said this. They always have that lull after Mania. I now think we're back on the Mania's really in the rearview mirror now. We're kind of now SummerSlam. We're now kind of
on the road to SummerSlam now.
Yeah, SummerSlam. This is where they're thinking, right, let's get from here to the main event in Detroit. And I think that crowd in Detroit is going to be. Oh, what did they have there?
I remember the last time I was in Detroit for a pay-per-view. Anyway.
Rumble?
I can't even bother to Google it. But
yeah, don't Google it. But I've got a funny. No. I'm thinking baseball stadium when Becky Lynch got put in the Rumble. Where was that? That was 2 years ago. No, that was a baseball stadium somewhere. Yeah, but I know Detroit is going to be a great crowd, mate. But yeah, we'll be back with our SmackDown review next week. We've got some great interviews coming up next week. Obviously, you've got let's just tell us, you and Fiona have got the NWA. It's the Crockett Cup this weekend, right?
It is. It's starting tonight. Actually, Fiona has purchased the pay-per-view. The Crockett Cup is the most prestigious cup in wrestling if you go back through the lineage anyway, from the lineage perspective. So me and Fiona it's night 1 tonight, night 2 tomorrow. So we're reviewing night 1 tomorrow, night 2 Monday.
I gotcha.
Obviously we got Cardona's new bitch, Steph Delander.
That's going to be awesome.
Tuesday, I think it's Tuesday. And then we got Harrison Leon for a breakout star in the UK coming on as well. But we've got some great little teaser shows as well lined up, Andy, haven't we? What we're talking about.
We have got some awesome stuff coming up. We're going to do we've got our top 10 tag teams. Next week's episode of the top 10 is going to be the top 10 tag teams. I think my list has already changed 3 times.
I've got it. Mine's set.
I think I know my top 3.
I'm set.
I think I know my top 3. I think I'm there.
I've just got to order it. I've just got to get it in. Make sure I've got the right order.
Yeah.
But my 10 is locked.
Okay. So I hope it'll be me, Adam, Munzie, and Dave.
Mate, Munzie won't be with us Monday.
Munzie's not around. Dave's with us. Munzie's probably bowls.
Bowl. I think so. Yeah.
Having a cream tea and a bowls. I don't know. Maybe a bit of bingo. Who knows? But we'll be back with that. We'll squeeze in our Monday Night Raw review, but make sure you can go and check us out, as we always say, on all the social. This is come and check out the YouTube show, Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. That TikTok, we are on TikTok.
Yes,
we are
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Also, check out the intro before the show starts today. We have got another little addition to
Team Buckle, who has kindly done an intro for us. It would have been on this episode of Hitting the Turnbuckle. Let us know what you think about that. But hit us up on Twitter at HTT Buckle if you want to interact with us. That's where we're most active. We're on Facebook. We are on Instagram. The amazing Rachel, part of Team Buckle, she does our Instagram for us. Adam and Munzie and does all the YouTubes. I just occasionally pop in and put my glasses on and talk.
Pop in and say hello.
Yeah, pop in and say hello. But
I'm with Jurassic Pro Wrestling tomorrow. Sorry,
you are at Jurassic Pro, my friend. Have a great day. Hopefully, we will have Matt Kuhn on tomorrow. I've had to move it a couple of hours because I've stupidly double booked it when I'm playing golf. But
outrageous,
absolutely outrageous, especially the way I'm playing golf in a minute. But we'll be back, Adam. It's been another pleasure. Great episode of the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I've been your host, Andy Burrows, with my good friend and tag team partner, Mr. Adam Cousins. Till next time, everybody, buckle down and stay safe.